স্বপ্ন যাবে অনেক দূর, হবে না তো বিদেশ বিদেশ করে বিদেশ, স্বপ্ন যাবে অনেক দূর, হবে না তো বিদেশ বিদেশ করে বিদেশ, স্বপ্ন যাবে অনেক দূর, হবে না তো
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Gardening, Learn and Fun with Safwana Saeed. I'm your host, and this is the program where we can all learn a little bit more about gardening and about plants while also having fun with it. And so every program we have different segments. So I will usually present a topic segment about a certain cool, fun topic that I've researched. And we'll also have topics for Key Stage 1 and 2 and also a fun quiz. And every week I do this on a Monday at 7:30. So be sure to tune in. And every week we also have a very special guest. And today we have Indra.
Hi, my name is Indra. My full name is Satoj Paul. My parents both are in BGS. They do a lot of work with BGS. My mom's name is Joyti Paul, and my dad's name is Samir Paul. Yep.
Okay, so everyone, this is Indra. He's already introduced himself, and I can hear some very familiar names like your mum. From my bulletin days, I do remember a lot of different names. So, yeah. So how old are you, Indra?
I'm 18 years old, and I'm in year 13 right now. My last year of sixth form.
Oh, right. I'm in year 12, so just a year below you. So, whereabouts do you live?
I live all the way down in Kent, which is quite some distance away from everyone else.
Yeah, so I'm currently in North Yorkshire, which is quite far away from you and far away from home because I'm in boarding school right now.
Boarding school.
So
what subjects are you doing?
I'm doing English literature, psychology, and maths. So quite a wild mix there, I've heard people say. So what subjects are you doing?
I do physics, maths, and computer science, which are also quite difficult subjects.
Yeah, I cannot imagine.
A bit wild as well.
Yeah, I cannot imagine doing physics. I am dreading mechanics.
It's hard, but I'm getting through
it. Well, that sounds like a great selection of subjects. So what do you want to be like when you're older?
When I'm older, I want to be in the engineering sort of workforce. I want to do software engineering or maybe get into mechanical engineering, one or the other. They're both really things I enjoy. For a long time, I've always enjoyed computers, and I always loved engineering, things like cars, planes, trains, all sorts of things like that. I love them. And so
that sounds very cool.
What about you?
I want to do law. So specifically corporate law is what I'm thinking of right now, but I'm still very wishy-washy on the specific types of law I want to go into and actually like where I want to do it. But yeah, I just know that I want to be in that legal like environment. So yeah. So obviously your mum is and your dad is a very big part of BGS. So what do you like about gardening?
What do I like about gardening? I like everything about gardening. I love planting them, watching the plants grow, and at the end of it, getting something as a reward, like I don't know, like fruits or vegetables. Yeah. It's always nice when my mom tells me that dish is actually made from those flowers or those plants in our garden. It's always really nice to hear that. And yeah, so I love helping in the garden as well during the summertime.
It's almost shocking when my parents say that a vegetable's not from their garden. I'm like, wait, you've bought this vegetable? Wow, I thought you grew everything here. Yeah, it's always shocking. Okay, so let's see who's with us today. All right, so we've got my dad, the one and only Saeed Shuman. He says salam and good evening. Walaikum
that's
salam.
my mom.
Yes. Welcome, dear children. Safwana, you are looking so cute. Thank you so much, Auntie. Greetings to everyone. Yes, hello to everyone who is watching. And even if you're watching after the live has ended, I'm so glad you've decided to click on this video and watch. Wa alaikum salam to everyone.
Greetings to everyone from Shaznaz Hussain. And it's my dad, Samir. Oh, my dear kids, good luck.
Thank you. Thank you. We're hoping this will go well. We had a few technical difficulties last episode, so hopefully that doesn't happen today. How are you both from Mukul Uncle? I am great.
I'm doing fine. Doing good. Bit nervous, but hopefully that will slowly die down.
Yeah, I'm always nervous before these. This is like my 5th episode now, and I'm always nervous before, but then it gets very, very chill throughout the whole thing. And everyone's comments really do like cheer you up. So thank you to everyone who is commenting. My favorite BGS show. A great example from Mukul Uncle right there of how the comments can really cheer you up. Okay, so now that we've had a little bit of an introduction, a little bit of a get to know each other, how about we start our first segment of today's program?
Okay, let's do that.
All right, so I will start with my topic, and I've chosen a very, very interesting topic, which I had loads of fun researching. So I decided to research the largest flower in the entire world, and it's called the Rafflesia flower. So when I was researching this, I was absolutely shocked at all the facts that I found. I mean, I've never heard of this before my research that I did. You know, I sat there in my room thinking, oh, what do I do this episode on? You know, I don't really know what to do. And then it hit me, what is the largest flower in the world? And so I decided to Google that, and I went into this deep dive of information. So I'm going to share that with everyone today. So we're going to start off with a little bit of history, which might not be everyone's favorite thing. I did history GCSEs, so I very much enjoy it, but I don't know about you.
I did history, but I honestly didn't enjoy it that much. I did my best for my GCSEs, and after that, I tried to forget it, like it was history.
Yeah. To be fair, same. So a little bit of the history behind this ginormous flower, which you'll find out how big it is soon. So Rafflesia, the specific species being Arnoldi, was discovered in Sumatra by an exploration party in 1818, which was a very, very long time ago, by Sir Stamford Raffles. I hope I pronounce his name right. And Raffles persuaded his doctor, Dr. Arnold, to come with him on this journey with him to Sumatra. And so while they were exploring in Sumatra, Dr. Arnold decided to venture out on his own a little bit. And so he decided to go out into the deep rainforests in Indonesia. And he stumbled upon this flower, which you saw in the last slide, this orangey looking flower, and was like, wow, this is a crazy flower. And so he said, there's a quote on the screen right here on this slide of what he said. And he said, sorry, I can't really see that part of the slide. Oops. Okay. But he basically said, whoa, this is a very ginormous flower, essentially. And he was very shocked by it. And so he decided to, draw this up. And he also took the flower and wanted to send it back to England for it to be, dissected. But they found that it kind of rotted and got infested, and they couldn't really analyze it anymore. Yeah. So, yeah, that is a little bit of the history behind the discovery of this massive flower. And now I will tell you guys a little bit about where you can find it. If you ever go to Southeast Asia, specifically Indonesia, Sumatra, Java, Malaysia, Thailand, you might stumble across this flower. It's very rare, but you might if you decide to, hike in the rainforests, I guess, rather than bathing in the sun. I don't know which one you'd rather do. But if you happen to stumble across it, it's a very fascinating thing to see. I think if I ever saw it, I would be amazed. But they are endemic to Southeast Asia, and so you can only find them here. And yeah, they are found in the tropical rainforests, as I said, and they exist in only very, very hot and humid weather, which is why it decided to grow there, I guess. And like I said, these are very, very hard to locate and very difficult to see in bloom. So if you do ever get to see one, you are very lucky. Okay, so this, now you can definitely see how big this flower is,
that is really
in these
big.
pictures. And they can grow up to about 1 meter tall, or like the diameter of it, which is crazy. And it looks very odd. You might think, is that really a flower? But yes, it is a flower scientifically. It has petals, it has seeds and reproductive organs. So it is a flower. So it is not like your ordinary flower, obviously. I'm sure when you think of a flower, you think of roses, daisies,
Small flowers,
yeah,
not something
yeah,
big like
small
that.
flowers that you can pick and like put in a bouquet and give to your mum on Mother's Day or give to your dad on Father's Day.
I might actually have to get one of those for my mum's birthday.
Yeah, I think she'll very much enjoy seeing this massive flower in a vase.
I'll have to
But
go
this
Indonesia
isn't like,
first.
yeah, you'll have to find it first, which is quite rare. But unlike those sort of like flowers that I mentioned that you might find in a bouquet, this is actually a parasitic flower. So it actually requires a host plant to grow and take nutrients and water from. So the plant that it takes it from is called the tetrastigma vines. And so it grows like in the inside of the vines on these like weird kind of cabbage-sized lumps, which you can kind of see in this middle picture. And then it takes about 9 to 10 months to bloom, which is a crazy amount of time, and which is why it's very rare to see in bloom. And the very sad thing is that it only lasts about a week in its bloom before it kind of rots away and dies. So it's very short-lived. And it always has 5 orangey browny flowers. And something really disgusting that a lot of people who have encountered this flower have noticed is it smells very, very strongly of rotting meat.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Maybe
I don't know
won't get it for my
how.
mum's birthday.
Yeah, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. I'm sure lavenders and daisies will smell much better. So when I tell you it's very strong, like the descriptions I read, people were saying it's like rotting flesh and it's like disgusting and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't want to come across it actually. So I don't know why these people look so happy to see it, because I'm sure they are actually dying inside. So yeah, and you know, when you think of pollen in a flower, you think of, you know, the little yellow sprinkly dust that comes off of the daisies, you know, but this actually has very thick and sticky pollen, which dries on flies so that it can be distributed for pollination. So that's something a little bit different about this flower. And another shocking statistic that I found was that the smallest Rafflesia flower found was 12 centimeters. So if you guys get out your rulers at home and look at 12 centimeters, that's like that big, right? Maybe a little bit larger, like that big. That's the smallest flower of this flower that they found, the smallest. And daisies are like that big, which is still crazy that the flower is that big. So yeah, I think that was a very interesting statistic that I found, which it was just crazy to me.
What
I'm
was
pretty
the
sure
biggest one they found?
Yeah, the biggest one I found, I'm pretty sure it was 120 centimeters.
Ooh,
So like
massive.
10 times the smallest one. So yeah, it's about like 3 feet, a little bit more than 3 feet, which is crazy. Imagine like lying across it and it's just like the same size as a small child. Like that's crazy. I really think it looks at like something out of Alice in Wonderland. Like it definitely looks like something out of that movie, if you've ever seen it. Or what's that TV show? In the Night Garden, that primary school TV show. I don't know if any of the kids out there watch In the Night Garden. This looks like a type of flower that would be out of there. So yeah, this is actually a flower. You might think, it's not a flower. There's no way it can be, but it definitely is. So I think it was just a very cool thing that I researched, and I hope everyone liked a little insight into the largest flower in the world. All right. So, I have one more cool fact about this actually, is that people used to think that this flower in Thailand, people used to think this flower would help you get into heaven, which I think is kind of cool, ancient fact. And they also thought it was a love potion, which is
Oh.
quite interesting as well. Despite its very, very foul smell, which you wouldn't really associate with love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I hope everyone enjoyed that little bit of insight into the largest flower in the world. Let's just see if there's any comments or questions about it. All right. Can we get some comments, please? Salam to you both and everyone. Walaikum salam. Thank you for watching. You too looks very pretty. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
This is my mum. Hello, good evening, everyone. Best wishes for kids. Thank you. I'm guessing this is your
That's my
brother.
grandma.
Oh, your
The
grandma.
brother. Yeah.
I just
Totally
assumed
brother.
it was your brother for a second. We love that. We love that. Best wishes for both. Thank you so much. What is the biggest flower in your garden? Mine is sunflowers. I had one last year, 2 kg by weight. Oh, that is a very good question
That's
from
heavy.
Mokal Uncle. Huh. Biggest
Biggest
flower.
flower.
We did have a really big sunflower in our garden. It was like massive as well. So I might have to say that. I need to ask my dad.
I think for us it was like quite a big rose. I think we might have had a sunflower a long time ago, like a few years ago. But I think the last one that we had was a really nice looking rose.
Oh, I've never seen a rose, like a really big rose. I've seen quite a few, like, would you count hydrangea as like a bunch of little flowers or like one big flower? I don't know. That's quite an interesting question.
It's just a bunch of petals.
Yeah, it's just like a cluster more than like petals, like a flower. Safwana and Indra, research and curiosity is the basic to find out something new. So you should keep this in mind when gardening as well. Yes. We should always be interested in gardening. Although I haven't helped my parents in the garden for a very long time, which I should be doing. But being so far away, it's kind of hard. I'm feeling happy to listen. Oh, this is for you.
Yeah, that's my auntie. I'm feeling happy to listen to you, my son. Yeah, it's my auntie. Good son.
Mukul Uncle says, question to all, what is the biggest flower in Bangladesh? Oh, yes, I'm not too sure on that one. I'll have to do my research unless anyone else in the comments can answer that. Mamuni, your discussion provides me huge, interesting information about the beautiful flower and associated. I appreciate your doings. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I don't know if I would call it a very beautiful flower, though, considering it's not. I mean, it's definitely fascinating to look at, though. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I think there is a big flower planet in Kew Garden. Oh, I'm not
Never
sure.
been there.
I think
that was very interesting. That's my brother.
Oh, yes. Hello. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope you learned a lot about that. I have a question to everyone watching, actually. Did you guys know anything about this flower before I told you guys about it? I'd love to know if that was something that was already known, because I definitely didn't know about it. Hello, Mamoni and Indra. Hello. Good evening. It's a question for you.
Indra, can we eat flower? If we do, few for us, please. Name a few. We can. I'm not sure about the name, but it's like a yellow flower that grows. It's like I think it might be like a pumpkin flower or something.
Yeah.
My grandma knows it, and the way she cooks it, she gets like some batter. I'm not sure what the batter is made of. She put it into the batter and then fry it, and it tastes really nice. I
Yeah.
remember one
I know
time eating
exactly what
like
you're talking
5 and
about.
6 in one go, which wasn't
They
too
are
good.
so good.
Hmm.
My mum has made them before as well. It's so good. I think you can also have lao flowers. You know, I think it's
Yeah.
just the general kind of flower from like gourds and pumpkins and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, very tasty. Actually, an interesting thing I didn't mention about the Rafflesia flower is that the like really, really young buds of it are eaten as a delicacy in Thailand,
Mm.
which is
Do you
cool.
know what it tastes of?
I do not. I'll have to
Oh.
research that. I'll have to. I don't. I hope it tastes better than it smells. That's what I'm hoping.
Mhm.
I had a big sunflower in our garden. Yes, I feel like sunflowers are just amazing. Like they grow so tall. Really enjoying the program. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Okay. Oh, I didn't know about this big flower. Well, Dad, now you know.
Hmm.
Cauliflower is a flower. Is it?
It has flower in the name, so
It
might
has
be.
it has flower in the name, so surely it's a flower, right?
Mm.
Oh.
You spend more time in the garden, your mom or your dad? Um. Oh, I don't know. If I say a name, there might be a dispute. So I can't put a direct name on it to keep everything at peace. So I'll skip that question for now. Maybe another
Yeah.
time they could answer it.
They always like to ask that question. They always want to stir up drama. I always just say both. To be fair, it's kind of true. I think both of my parents spend equal amounts of time in the garden.
Yeah, equal time. Yeah.
Yeah, equal time. Cauliflower is a flower, isn't? Huh. Okay.
Biggest unseen flower is Bumurue food.
Hmm.
Is that a flower in Bangladesh? It sounds like a Bangladeshi name.
Wait, what's the biggest unseen flower? If it's not been seen before, how do you know it's the biggest?
Oh, good question. Good question. He's gonna have to
Biggest
answer that in the
unseen
comments.
flower. Okay. While he's thinking of that answer, how about we move on to your segment of today's program?
Okay.
Okay. I think I'll have to go to the beginning of this. Sorry about that. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, there we go.
So I did some little bit of a research. I made a little PowerPoint presentation on honeybees, since honeybees are really important for everybody's garden and for agriculture, farming, and everything. So bee in Bengali is momasi. I've written that on the PowerPoint there. On the next slide, there'll be a quick few facts about the honeybee. So there's 20,000 different species of bees, and all of the bees come from wasps. So the wasps originally ate and fed on other insects, but bees, over evolution and a long time, they've evolved to drinking nectar. And then they live in large colonies of hives, and they could produce up to 27 kilos of honey in a good season. Obviously, the good season has to be during the summertime. Yeah, during the summertime, there's a lot of flowers, so they can produce a lot more nectar and make that into honey. So there's up to like 40,000 bees in a hive during the summertime. During the wintertime, however, the population of a hive does decrease, but it never goes down to zero. They'll decrease, I believe, around 5,000 bees, and the honey production will not be. They'll use the honey they've saved up over the summer, and they'll feed off that. And then, obviously, I'm pretty sure everybody knows bees pollinate flowers, and they travel miles to do that. I think there was a statistic that said that bees have to a whole colony of bees have to travel, I think, twice around the world to be able to produce the amount of honey they do produce. And another fact is they love drinking nectar and eating pollen. So on the next slide,
That is amazing. 27 kilograms of honey. Like, that's amazing that these small little creatures can do that.
I've also seen other statistics saying that bigger hives, they can produce up to maybe 30, 40, I believe.
Wow.
Oh, yeah,
That is
so
fascinating.
they do a lot of work to be able to produce that. So why are bees so important for your garden? Obviously, bees pollinate flowers, and they help produce fruits and vegetables for big plants. So on that picture on the right, if you look at the back leg of the bee, you'll see a yellow sort of pouch, and that pouch is used to carry pollen. And obviously around their hairy body, pollen gets trapped onto it, and will go from flower to flower to pollinate them. And obviously, most importantly, if you look on the right, there's your lao flower. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this is, and bees also pollinate those for you to have lao. So next slide, I talk more about so beehives. Obviously, I said 40,000 bees in a beehive, which is a lot of bees, and all of these bees are all controlled by one queen bee who lays all the eggs and gives birth to more bees for the colony. And the baby bees are called larvae or larvae, and they are kept in the hive until they grow and develop into a full a worker bee. And that's it. So next slide. So producing honey is a lot of hard work for a bee. So each bee has at least 100 micrograms of nectar. So producing 40 and up to more honey takes a lot of work. So initially, a bee will obviously collect nectar from the flowers that it travels to, and it will bring it back to the hive. And then so it will store it into the honey stomach, which has a lot of enzymes. These enzymes will break the long chains of sugar chains in the nectar and make it thinner, and that's how honey is produced. They will bring it back to the hive, and if you look in the background of the picture, that bee is taking that honey out and putting it into one of those hexagonal cells. And after it's done that, some more bees will come, and it will help that bee flap its wings and create an air current. This air current goes throughout the whole hive, and this air current actually dries up the honey. And drying up the honey will drop its moisture levels by down to 20%, and it will make it really dry. And that has a really good benefit. Benefit is that dryness and high pH of the honey prevents bacteria and viruses from taking place and ruining the honey. So that's why when you have honey, or some parents might say, honey will never go off, and that's why they have such a long shelf life. So
yeah, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember when we bought honey one time, and it went all crystallized, and I was like, oh, I don't want it. It's gone crystallized, and my mum was like, it's still honey. You can still eat it. So
exactly, yeah.
I also have a question. Do you know why it's a hexagon shape in the hives?
Actually, that's gonna come up soon. I have another slide on it.
Right. All right.
So you can save that question. I'll come back to it. Any more questions? Any more questions from the comments?
Let's see.
Okay, there you go. My dad's going off. Indra, I do the hard work jobs in the garden, like filtering soil from calcium deposits.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait for my mum to see what she's gonna have to say about that. Rafflesia arnoldea is a big flower too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We've got a lot of
Jasmine Chowdhury. an unbelievable amount of work behind a spoonful of honey. I remember this when I have some in the future. Great program, interesting information. Thank you. Mamoni, Safwana, and Babu Indro, both of you are doing very good. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is the hexagon made of? It's made of beeswax. So bees were produced there. I'm not actually sure on how the bees produce the beeswax, but it is beeswax. And it's and sometimes in a long time ago, what they'll do is after they've taken out the honey from the hive, they'll take the beeswax, roll it up, and make it into a candle. I remember doing that a long time ago. Yeah,
beeswax
making candles.
Candles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, should we continue with the segment?
Okay, let's continue. So the next one is bee fly. Obviously, I've already said my subjects, and I love engineering. So that I had to obviously incorporate some engineering into how a bee flies. So the story goes that there was an engineer and this other person. I'm not sure what they're called, but they study insects. And they were at a bar, and then they said, "Could a bee actually fly?" An engineer scratched his head, went back home, and did some maths. And it turns out a bee shouldn't be able to fly. Compared to its body, his wing size and its body weight, it's impossible for a bee to fly. Obviously, after only recently have we figured out how a bee can fly. Obviously, a bee can fly. It's not like something they can't do. They can fly in front of us. But it took a long time for us to figure out how a bee actually flies. And the way they did it was actually quite interesting. They had mirrors. Some Japanese scientists put mirrors on the back of bees. And they use lasers to shoot at the bee, and then we see the reflections to see the movement of their muscles and how they fly. And from that, obviously, there's other insects like dragonflies. From those insects, us humans have took inspiration from those and made things like helicopters and hovering planes and things like that. So it's interesting to see how we can take ideas from nature and translate it into technology for our own benefits or to save other people and things like that.
That is amazing. I never even knew that like bees could technically not fly until recently. Obviously they've discovered that, but that I've never thought about that. It's quite true. Like their wings are so tiny, like how are they able to stay in the air? It's very interesting.
So the next part is nature and engineering. This is where your question comes into play. So why is that they use that hexagonal shape? And the reason, what I believe is it's a really strong structure. That hexagonal shape you see on the card at the bottom is actually used. It's a really strong structure, and it uses the least amount of material. So for a bee, that'll be really good. They use less material, but they still make like a hive that is really strong, and it can like tolerate winds and things like that. And another thing is that us humans, obviously I said, we take so many inspirations from the natural world and to make different things. So for example, on the right there, that little sketch is actually Da Vinci, all the way 600, 500 years ago, drawing out the first few sort of prototypes, I guess, of wings. And obviously planes, sonar, all of those things come from animals. So planes obviously from birds, sonar from bats and dolphins, whales, things like that. And then Velcro is from like a seed that has like hooks that can like cling onto fur and move. And that's it. And then, but the problematic thing is that we take so much from nature, but we give so little back. And I think that's where my next slide goes to. Environmental problems. This goes back to the bees. So recently, bees have actually slowly started to drop their population. And in America, beekeepers have said up to 90 to 30% of bees are lost.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes it's due to parasites, So sometimes it's due to like parasites and other sort of causes, things like weather. But mostly, obviously, this 90% drop has to be down to something, and that's actually down to pesticide. I was recently, not too long ago, in the 1913s or 30s, a new sort of pesticide or insecticide was made. It's called neonicotinoid, and this one is really good. It's a really good pesticide. It gets rid of a lot of insects, but it also harms bees. So they harm bees, and that's obviously not good. Bees are not there to harm your crops. They're actually trying to help grow your crops. The way nicotinoids work is it targets the nervous system of an insect and slowly. If we do lose the bee population and bees do disappear, we will have a lot of different types of vegetables. Our plates will be quite so stuck in one sort of vegetable group. We won't have things like pumpkins, we won't have things like carrots, and we won't have broccolis or any type of squash vegetables. So obviously we don't want that to happen. So, and another thing I wanted to say was on the right, there's a few insecticides. And one thing I'll try to hopefully you guys check if it has neonicotinoids. Some of them will say free of neonicotinoids, and you probably want to use them instead of some that might contain, because you might harm bees, and it's probably not good for the bee population around your area. So I think that's it for my presentation, my little research on bees. So thank you for listening. সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ.
I hope all of the dedicated gardeners out there do listen to that piece of information and avoid that chemical so that we can save these bees, because they are so important. So let's see if anyone has any more questions for Indra.
Honey keeps body warm in the cold country. You should make habit to consume honey regularly. Yeah.
Yes.
Honey has a lot of benefits.
I do love honey as well. Very good in tea. I love like red tea with honey. Hi, this is Jaquan and I like the topics. Thank you. I think Indra did a very good job at talking about these bees. It's such an important thing to talk about, especially in the recent years with all the climate difficulties and everything and the environmental issues.
Muku uncle says, when it's dark, a bee cannot fly, Zakwan said. Yeah, it's true. Bees actually use the sun to navigate, and it's difficult obviously during the nighttime when there's no sun.
Yeah.
Really nice topic.
I actually have a question of my own. So you mentioned wasps at the beginning, like they're kind of the original. Do wasps make honey as well, or is it only bees?
I'm actually not sure. I don't think wasps will make honey, because I did say wasps do hunt other insects. So I don't think they would make honey. But bees actually evolved to feed off nectar and things like that. So
yeah, that's true. I think it's so interesting how we take, like the thing you said, we take so much from nature, but we give such little back. Like that is a very insightful quote that should be put into a book.
Excellent presentation. Thank you. We learned a lot from our kids. Daisy Side said, your mum. Excellent, Satoj. Good. God bless you. Thank you. Hi, Indra. The topics about bees is very interesting. Taha. Thank you. Thank you, Taha. I think Taha probably enjoyed that. Clap, clap. Thank you.
I feel like kids nowadays are very interested in like little insects and stuff. I know I was when I was younger. I would always go out into the playground and like try and find ladybugs and stuff.
Were you ever scared of any insects, like spiders and things like that?
You know what? I'm still a little bit scared of spiders to this day, I think.
But
really not too much.
I was really scared. Only recently have I stopped that. Like that fear has slowly like died down.
Yeah, same. I think every little kid is kind of scared of spiders. You know, they see it in movies and TV shows and they're like, scary. So especially like sorry.
Indra is very quiet at home, but today he's explaining fluently. Credit goes to BJ's and host Safwan. Thank you. Yeah, I'm quite quiet at home. if bees collect honey, what do they eat? They eat honey. They drink honey. Obviously, the honey they save out. Question from Taha: can bees clone themselves? Cloning themselves. I'm not sure. I think the queen bee has a way of reproducing. Obviously, there might be some sort of cloning there. I need to do a bit more research for that.
Mm-hmm.
My dad says, I hope to see all other lovely kids to do and participate in such events.
Yes, hopefully. If any of you guys are watching at home and you guys want to be part of a future episode, make sure to comment down below and also ask my dad or my mum if you can be. So yeah, I'm very open to anyone who really wants to be on here. I always enjoy your topics. Thank you so much. You know, I actually do psychology, and in psychology we learn a lot about communication and language, and we also learn about how bees communicate. And I think it was such a shocking thing. Like they do like little dances and stuff to let each other know like where the food is, and I think that is just so fascinating as well.
I think when I was researching, someone actually managed to decrypt the way they dance. I can't remember exactly how they do it, but I remember someone who figured out how they actually communicate. Like the exact.
Yeah, I don't remember the guy's name, but it was crazy. Yeah, there's like two different dances, like a waggle dance and like a round dance. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Like that. Very interesting questions and ways of explanatory answers. Okay. How long is a bee's lifespan from Zach one? I think bees they don't have a very long lifetime. I think they have a lifetime of nearly, I think, 2-3 weeks, maybe.
Oh wow, that's quite short.
Yeah,
quite short, and they still do so much in that time.
Yeah,
it's crazy. Okay, well, thank you for everyone for their lovely comments and questions. So, how about we move on to the key stage 1 and 2 portion of today's program? Okay, so I have decided to talk about deciduous and evergreen trees for our Key Stage 1 and 2 section. I think this is a very important thing to know the different types of trees, because I'm sure once in your life you're thinking, it's very cold outside, but this tree looks very warm and green. I wonder why. And so I'm going to be telling you a little bit about why we have those different types of trees. So, what is the difference? So we have one type of tree called deciduous trees and another type called evergreen trees. One of the names is kind of obvious, evergreen, which kind of means it's forever green. So that one's kind of obvious. So as you can see on the screen, evergreen trees do not change at all during the different seasons. Their leaves stay intact and very brightly green throughout the whole of the seasons. And so you might think of a few things, like a Christmas tree, for example. They're always very green and the leaves never fall off. So that's what a evergreen tree is. Whereas a deciduous tree definitely changes during the season. So as you can see, they'll start to grow in the spring and they'll be very live and brightly green in the summer. And then in the autumn, they'll start to grow a bit orange and they'll also start to fall off of the branches. So this is called a deciduous tree. So quite a big word to say, but deciduous is the word for that. So what happens is, I'm going to explain why exactly this happens. So why do some of them keep their leaves and why do some of them fall off? So in evergreen trees, you can see that the leaves are very, very different from the deciduous trees. So, you know, when you're walking in the park and you know, in the autumn and you see a bunch of leaves on the ground and they're all orangey, maybe one day go outside, pick up a leaf and look at what it looks like. So usually the ones on the ground that have fallen off are very flat shaped and quite wide shaped. And those are the deciduous ones, whereas the evergreen ones actually have a needle shape. So you can see in the picture, they're quite like spun, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, kind of like straw almost, like they're very needle shaped compared to the ones that you kind of see every day in your life. And so this needle shape helps them store water all year round. And so this is very good because, as I said in one of my last episodes, water is a very, very strong, very, very important element needed for plants to grow. And so without water, the plants can't make their own food. And so sadly, they die off. Whereas in evergreen trees, because they have that water, they can make their own food and survive without it freezing, essentially, in the winter. And so that's why they keep their leaves. Whereas deciduous trees, in the autumn and the winter, the days are shorter. We can definitely see that right now. I mean, it's very, very dark outside where I am. It's like pitch black outside. It looks like nighttime. And it's almost like that at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock now as well. So we're getting into some very, very short days. And that means we don't have as much sunlight. And as we know, plants need their sunlight to make food. So these deciduous trees cannot have the water or the sunlight. And so the bond between the leaves and the branches start to go very, very, very weak. And eventually they fall off when they have a light gust of wind. So that's why they all fall off in the winter. And you'll see a lot of trees out and about, kind of bare, look a little bit scary, you know, not very green.
Yeah.
And soon enough, you'll start to see the snow on them, hopefully. So yeah, that is why we have evergreen and deciduous trees. So some examples of evergreen trees, you have your everyday Christmas tree. And so the actual name for a Christmas tree, there's quite a few different ones that people like to use, but the main one in the UK is the Norway spruce.
No.
So the Norway spruce tree is an evergreen tree. So it doesn't have its leaves falls off, which is why it's used at Christmas, considering it's in the winter, and every other tree has its leaves falls off. So you can also see some pine cones. So pine trees are another example of evergreen trees. You also have hemlock, redwood, cypress, fir, spruce, and yew. I am making a very big emphasis on these names because they may or may not come up in the quiz later. I don't know. I wouldn't know. But I'll say it again. So we have pine, hemlock, redwood, cypress, fir, spruce, and yew. I made it about 10 times harder by not putting the words on the screen, but hopefully everyone at home is listening very well.
Make sure they're watching the presentation, not watching the football.
Exactly. As exciting as the football might be, this is more important. Okay. So we also have examples of deciduous trees. I feel like these are kind of more common trees, like you see in the park and stuff. I feel like these are ones that people can name a little bit easier. So you have maple trees, which you can see, oak trees, birch trees, willow trees, elm trees. I'll just say it again for fun. You know, maple trees, oak trees, birch trees, willow trees, and elm. I also have a picture here of cherry blossom trees because I think they are a very good example of showing how trees can change, deciduous trees can change in the different seasons. So obviously in spring, you have these lovely pink cherry blossoms, and in the summer, they're all green. And in the autumn, they're orange, and they all fall off in the winter months. So it's quite a good example of a deciduous tree. So each of these types of trees also have many different uses. So I'll just go back to evergreens very quickly. So evergreen trees are usually providing soft wood, which is usually used for making paper that you use. Most paper is made from pine trees. So when you're at school writing in your book, just remember that it's made out of trees if you didn't know already. And it's usually these ones. And you can also use evergreen trees for firewood. And you can also usually find them in stuff for like DIYs, like popsicle sticks and stuff like that. It's usually these evergreen trees. All right. And so deciduous trees usually give hardwood. So this is used for furniture, construction, flooring, and those kind of things. Definitely the more construction-y side. Okay, so those were the uses of deciduous and deciduous and evergreen trees. So I found it very interesting researching these as well. I think I already kind of knew, that there was evergreen,
Yeah.
and then there was deciduous, but I didn't know why they were actually different. Like, why do some of them keep their leaves? And so I hope everyone also learned a little bit with me at home about why they're different. So yeah, and it definitely shows the importance of water and sunlight as well.
Do you
Which
know?
is very, very
which
important.
tree grows faster, the evergreen one or the deciduous one?
Ooh, you know what? That's a good question, but I don't know the correct answer, but I have a feeling it's deciduous. I have a strong feeling, but
Okay.
I will have to research that. But one reason why I think evergreen grows slower is because usually they're a lot bigger and wider trunks, which kind of indicate that
True.
they're much older.
Okay.
And yeah, that's what I kind of think. So hopefully, let's just see if anyone has any questions. I think we'll have a few. So your Satyaj is answering like a teacher, and Safana is just like a director. Both are excellent. Thank you. Oh, I think that was for your last segment. How many hours of research is this, what you present weekly? When do you make the time for it? So well prepared as always. Thank you so much. I don't spend too much time on it because I am very busy nowadays. I do a lot of volunteering at school, and I do a lot of different things at A levels. But I do make sure that when I do my research, I always pick something fun. And so it's almost like I have a little bit of rest time from my work actually when I get to research this kind of stuff. But yeah, I spend a good maybe 2 hours on it researching and putting things together. It's very fun in my opinion. It does, it's not like very, very, very educational. So it makes for like a little bit of a hobby almost for researching these kind of things.
That's nice.
Wow, good point. Thank you. Thank you, Mum. We have a Christmas tree in the back garden.
Yeah.
That is very cool. A lot of people have Christmas trees in their gardens, which is so easy. They can just have it all year round.
Yeah.
Didn't know that shape of leaves makes difference. Yeah, neither did I. I hope everyone did learn that as well with me, because I didn't know that was a thing. But now that I know, yes, you better be ready, guys. Hopefully you remember some of the things I've said. All right. Okay. Where do you find so interesting topics to talk about? Well, I do spend a good amount of time researching, and nowadays my Google knows what I'm looking for, considering I do this every week. So yeah, I mean, everyone is always talking about plants, on social media. It's a very big thing about the environment these days. So it's not hard to find interesting facts, and I do give a good think of what people might like to see. So why does coconut never grow in the UK? I'm not too sure about that. I'll have to research that. Well, different trees require different climates. So considering coconuts are kind of tropical, I'm not sure if the UK is exactly tropical enough for it. Okay, I think this is from your dad.
Yeah. To the honorable parents, our kids are psychologically fit to cope with the challenging situation. Just support them a bit. They are qualified to win the competitive world better than others that I believe. Wishing you all the best.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so I think now is time for a very important thing that we do every single week, which is the challenge video. I find these to be some of the most entertaining parts of the program. I think we get a lot of fun out of it. So how about I put that on now?
Today I have a small challenge for my brother and my grandmother here. I have 3 questions that they have to answer, and I'm going to give them a time limit of 3 minutes. Whoever wins, whoever answers or puts down the most names or items for each question, they will win this prize. In this prize, I have a chocolate cake, some Pringles, and some fruits. Okay, and I made the questions even so that both my brother and my grandmother could understand them and easily do it. Since there's a age difference, my grandmother obviously has a lot more experience with the garden than my brother does, so I'll make sure the questions are fair so both of them have a fair chance of winning this. Okay, so do you want to start? And of course, my grandmother, I'm going to translate most of this to Bangla to my grandmother so that she can understand this. তাহলে দিদা, হ্যাঁ, আমাদের এখানে একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ হবে, বুঝছো? হ্যাঁ, চ্যালেঞ্জে আমার তিনটা কোয়েশ্চেন, প্রশ্ন, তোমাকে এই 3 প্রশ্নকে আনসার করতে হবে। হ্যাঁ, আনসার করে তোমার 3 মিনিট থাকবে, 3 মিনিটে সবগুলিকে আনসার করে যে জিতবে সে হলো একটা চকলেট কেক পাবে, আর এখানে ফল আছে, আর হলো চিপস। হ্যাঁ, ওকে, তাহলে এখন আমরা শুরু করি চ্যালেঞ্জ। চন্দ্রকে হলো ইংলিশে লেখা একটা কোয়েশ্চেন দিছি, আর হলো তোমাকে বাংলায় কয়েকটা লেখা দিছি। আর আমি তোমাদেরকে 3 মিনিট টাইমার এখন আমি শুরু করব। ওকে, রেডি? পেন কলম আছে?
Yes.
Yes. 3 মিনিট শুরু হবে। হ্যাঁ, 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Okay, এখন কে বলতে পারে প্রথম কোশ্চেনটা কি ছিল?
বাংলাদেশের সবজি যেগুলো আমাদের বাগানে হয় তার নাম লিখো।
ওকে,
কি পড়বো নামগুলো?
এখন হ্যাঁ, তাহলে ইংলিশে তা কি? চন্দ্র বলো।
Aubergine.
না, ইংলিশে কোশ্চেনটা।
Oh, write the name of some Bangladeshi vegetables which were grown in our garden.
ওকে, এখন দিদা বলো, কয়টা তুমি বলতে পারছো?
বেগুন, করলা, পুঁই শাক, পালং শাক, বোতার শাক, ডাঁটা শাক, মরিচ, টমেটো, ধুন্দল, শসা।
10টা না?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11টা।
11টা। ওকে, এখন চন্দ্র তুমি কয়টা বলতে পারছো?
Lao আর aubergine.
তো লাভি ভুলে গেছি প্রধান।
শুধু 2টা? ওকে, তাহলে ফার্স্ট পয়েন্ট হলো দিদার কাছে যায়, দিদা হলো আরো বেশি বলতে পারছে। এখন সেকেন্ড কোয়েশ্চেনটা কি ছিল?
বাগানে যে কীট পতঙ্গ দেখা যায় সেগুলো।
ইংলিশে কি?
Write some of insects names which you see in the garden.
দিদা তুমি বলো।
শামুক আর পাতার ছত্রাক পোকা।
ওকে, শুধু 2টা। এখন চন্দ্র বলো কয়টা পারছো?
Bee, worm, flies, dragonflies, wood lice, ants, aphids.
ওকে, তাহলে এই পয়েন্টটা হলো চন্দ্রের কাছে গেছে। এখন লাস্ট কোয়েশ্চেনটা কি ছিল?
বাগান থেকে তোলা কোন সবজি সরাসরি খাওয়া যায় রান্না ছাড়া?
ওকে, চন্দ্র বলো ইংলিশে কি?
Which vegetables can you eat directly from our garden?
বলো দিদা, কি বল?
টমেটো, টমেটেলা, রাসবেরি, কাঁচামরিচ, চেরি, মূলা, শসা।
ওকে, 7টা বলতে পারছো। 7।
হ্যাঁ,
চন্দ্র বলো।
Tomato, cucumber, chili, and tomatorina.
ওকে, তাহলে তুমি শুধু 4টা বলতে পারছো। আর এই ফাইনাল পয়েন্ট দিদার কাছে যায়। দিদা হলো 2 to 1. 2 to 1. My grandmother wins. So this is your prize: chocolate cake and some fruits. Should I feed you a grape for winning? congratulations to my grandmother. She won the challenge. She won 2 questions compared to my brother who only just won 1 of those questions. So as a present, chocolate cake.
এটা আমরা দুইজনেই শেয়ার করব ধরো
Okay, so my grandmother doesn't want the chocolate cake, so she's going to share it with my younger brother. So as I figured, my grandmother was going to win this challenge. But obviously I did see the fact that my brother did win in the insects, as he's lived in this country for a lot longer and will know a lot more about these insects. But however, my grandmother did win in both of the vegetable questions, as she knows Bangladeshi vegetables a lot better than my brother. So I think that's why she won this challenge. So thank you for everyone for tuning in and watching my challenge video.
All right, that was a really great challenge video. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. I didn't know this spot.
Wait 1 second. I can't see your camera.
Oh, can you not?
No, I can't.
How about now?
No, I still can't see it. There's a little bit of a technical difficulty, so bear with us.
You should be able to see it. My camera is on. I can see myself.
I'm not sure if that's on my end then. Sorry, bear with us. Sorry, while we fix that, can everyone at home see everything okay? If you just let us know. And in the meantime, I'll just read a few comments. Is there a mythical trees and flowers?
Alright.
If yes, name please.
Can you see me now?
Yes, I can see you
Okay.
now. Okay, we are back on track. Okay, that was a really great challenge video. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
There was a few funny moments in that as well.
Yeah.
And hopefully your brother and your grandma enjoyed the cake. Did you get a slice of that cake as well?
No, I did not. They took it for themselves.
Wow, they really did. Honestly, I would too if it was chocolate cake. Wow, that was a great idea of a challenge video. I think that was great. So yeah, congratulations to your grandma for winning that as well. All right, let's see a few comments that people might have about that challenge video. Oh, Safwana, that is research interest. That is research interest that I told you. Yes. Do the evergreen trees have rings in them? Oh, I'm not too sure what you mean by rings. I think maybe like the rings inside of the trunk. Then yes,
I think that's what
they
I'm
do.
talking about. Yeah, the rings.
Yeah, they do. So if you
is
like
it true
cut
that
it
if
open,
you count the rings, that's how many years the tree's been?
I've always been told that as well, but I actually don't know if that's true. I'll have to research that.
I don't know.
I've always thought that, but I'm not sure. Is there a mythical trees and flowers? If yes, name please. Mythical trees. So I'm not sure if you mean by like in myths, like as in like fake trees or trees that are like symbolic. I'm not sure. But I did do an episode about Greek mythology and flowers in Greek mythology. So there are a few. But I'm not too sure about trees. Big question. Do your parents not pay for this work? I wish. I definitely wish. But no, I do not get paid. This is volunteering. That is a very good examination. The students are very brilliant. Thank you. Thank you so much.
For the
This for
first
you.
time, I see mum taking exam. Oh, she's talking about my grandmother.
Yeah.
She's never seen her take exams. Well done, auntie. That's my grandma talking about my grandma. What a challenge. I don't think it was a challenge for my auntie. That was basically a walk in the park for her.
She won very easily.
Love the challenge. Thank you. Bless you. Love you, Chandra. Chandra is my younger brother.
Aye.
What auntie for challenge? No, wow. Shabash auntie. Yeah. Wow, you have nailed it, auntie. Feel bad for my brother now.
Yeah. I
Thank
hope
you,
your
well
auntie has a
done. I
big
like this
ego
challenge.
after this.
Thank you. I could help with the chocolate cake. You have to cooperate with my brother and my grandmother. I don't think there's any more chocolate left. Chocolate cake left. Congratulations. Yeah. How sweet to see 2 generations are in a challenge. Congratulations, auntie.
Yes.
Sharing is caring. I don't think they heard about that before. So that's why they're not sharing. Well done, kids. Mashallah. Thank you. Well done. Well done, Chandra. Yeah, there you go. Some sympathy for my brother listening.
You know, your Bangla is really good. So were you born here or were you born in Bangladesh?
No, we're actually born in Belgium and then we moved over here.
Belgium.
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, Belgium. So did
Yeah,
like
so-
your whole family live there?
Yeah. So my mum and dad used to live there and then we were born and we actually learned French. That was the first language that we learned after Bengali.
So
Yeah.
you speak fluent French?
Not anymore. I did French GCSE, but after that, honestly, I can't remember any French. We didn't speak a single word of English when we came here, so it was quite a learning curve. But we managed to do it. We learned English, and
Yeah.
we're here now.
Well, your English is perfect, and so is your Bangla. It's a lot better than mine. A lot better than
Yeah.
mine. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching that, and I definitely enjoyed that. Hopefully, everyone else did. So now, let's move on to my quiz today, as everyone is anticipating. Oh, wait, there's just one last question. Question for you both: what is your favorite flower name in Bengali? That's a good question. Now I have to think of flower names in Bangla.
Surjamukhi. I think that's a
What's
nice name.
that? What's that in
Sunflower.
English?
Surjamukhi.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
it just
very
translates
nice name.
to faces the sun. I think. Yeah,
You know,
that's-
that is such a nice name. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know too many flower names in Bangla. I have to be honest. I'm trying to think. Golab.
Yeah, that's
Rose. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about all I know.
one. That's about it.
Okay. Full is just a general name for flower, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just
Okay. Yes. Okay. See, I know at least one name. Okay. So let's go ahead with this quiz. So, Indra, I might ask you to like count down from 10 or even read out some questions. So be prepared for that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll start off the first question. Where is the Rafflesia flower found? Is it A, South America, B, Southeast Asia, C, Eastern Europe, or D, Australia? So everyone, you have 10 seconds to comment in the comments what you
10.
think the right answer is. So, Indra, would you like to count down?
I'll count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I'm just going to wait a few more seconds for the answers to come in. This is quite
Okay.
a hard round, to be fair, of questions. There was one episode where we had quite a few hard questions as well. Okay. We've got a few D's and B's. Oh, I think is that your dad or is that your
That's
brother?
my brother.
Your brother. I
D,
think he
B.
changed his answer to B.
You can't be
And
changing
D.
answers like that. He saw your dad answer and now he's changing it.
D. Okay. My mum's put C.
See?
All right. I think we've got a few answers there. The correct answer to this question is B, Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
So it is not D or C. It is indeed B. So well done to your brother and my dad for putting B. So yeah, it is Southeast Asia. Okay, we have Mukul Uncle putting B. Hopefully you put that in before I said the answer. Or
We'll let him
if it's
off this
after,
time.
then
We'll let him off.
we'll let you off. We'll let you off. Okay, we'll go to the next question, which I'll ask you to read out.
Hey, how many petals does a Rafflesia have? A, 5 petals, B, 7, C, 4 petals, and D, 6 petals.
Okay, everyone, 10 seconds. Mum, I see you putting in the answer about 5 minutes after I've already read out the answer to that question. But anyways, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is a very hard question as well. You know, if everyone wasn't watching the football and maybe paying attention, you might be getting the right answer.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of C's and I'm seeing a D. I'm not sure if they've seen C and decided to put C as well,
D.
because the right answer is A.
Hey, yeah.
5
one got it right.
petals. No one put A. Would you look at that? 6. Oh, 6. Oh, as in 6 petals. Okay. I was gonna say there's not an option 6. Yes. I mean, no, it's not 6 petals. It is 5. 5 petals. 5 orangey, very smelly petals. Okay, we'll go on to the next question. My dad says, bad students watching football. As if you're not watching the football as well. All right, next question. Which of these is not deciduous? So this is where the good listening skills from before come in. Is it A, oak, B, maple, C, pine, or D, willow? Again, this is which of these is not deciduous? Not. Okay. Indra, would you like to count down?
I'll do a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
Answers in,
we're getting
please.
a few answers. Come on, everyone, put your answers in. Stop watching the football. All right, we're getting a lot of C. I think everyone's put C for this question. All right, and the correct answer is indeed it is C. So well done for everyone who actually got that question correct. It is C. So it's not A, B, or D because those are all hardwood trees, deciduous trees. So yeah, everyone putting C is correct. Well done. And we'll go on to, I think, the fourth question I want to say, which I'll ask you to read out.
Okay. Which of these is not evergreen? A, fir, B, yew, C, birch, D, spruce.
Okay, everyone, 10 seconds. Tear your eyes off of the TV. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Come on, everyone getting their answers in. We've got C. Okay. A. Well, lowercase a. A. All right. Any more answers? Any more answers before I reveal the question? The first one. Okay. My mom's put 2 answers.
Keep one eye on the TV and the other on the mobile.
Yes, of
That's
course.
quite hard to do.
My mom's put 2 answers, which is an interesting turn of events. I didn't exactly make it clear if there was one answer, but there is one answer only. Okay. I'm thinking this is one of those cases where everyone is copying each other because only one person got it right. And your brother got it right. It is C, birch. Birch trees are not evergreen. Their leaves fall off in the winter. So well done if you got C. Everyone who put A, fir is a evergreen tree. Okay. All right. I think the last question. What shaped leaves do evergreen trees have? Are they A, flat and wide shaped, B, needle shaped, C, ball shaped, or D, square shaped? And you'll have 10 seconds to answer.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, this is one of the easier questions since I think it was very interesting to know about this. So I think it's stuck in a lot of people's brains. But a lot of people are saying B. Okay, and I will reveal the correct answer is indeed B, needle shaped, which helps them store water. So good job to everyone who got those questions right. So it doesn't matter if you didn't get them all right. You can always watch this back and revise and study from it if you would like. But yeah, let's see what everyone else is saying. Bad students copy others' answers. Yes.
Yeah.
Do not be copying others' answers, because if everyone's getting it wrong and you think, oh, I'm going to put the answer as well, you're going to get it wrong as well. Bad students, this is the generation gap and quality. Yes.
B.
Okay,
Yeah,
just a
but
few
later
more
on.
answers coming in there. Yeah, B is the correct answer to that question. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, so I have one last thing to say before we end today's program, and it's a little announcement which I've never done before, but I have a little activity for everyone to do at home. This is mainly for kids, but if you're really, really itching to do it, you can do it as well, but this is for the kids. So I want everyone at home who's watching to make a plant poem. So this is an acrostic poem. So what you have to do is each line of the poem has to spell out the letters in the word plants. So you can see a few of the examples here. So plant in the soil, leaves, apple trees, needs water to grow, tender loving care, sunshine, and it spells out the word plants going vertically down. And so I want everyone at home, all the kids at home watching, to make their own poem, and I'm going to make a BGS post after this live program to anyone who isn't watching right now but would like to also participate. And all you have to do is post your poem on BGS before our next live program, which will be in about 2 weeks. And just post it to BGS, and I'll make sure you tag me, Safwana Saeed, on Facebook. And I'll be sure to read all of the poems and pick out around 5, 6, 7, as many poems as I really, really like, and share them in our next episode so that we can have a little bit more of that interaction with everyone watching. So I'll be sure to make this a post in case you guys forget. And yeah, that was today's live program. Indra, thank you so much for coming here to do this program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Honestly, I think it was a lot of fun today. Definitely cracking a few jokes here and there. So let's just see if there's any last questions.
I'm curious if bamboo is a tree or grass.
Oh, that is a very interesting question as well.
A type of grass.
Yeah, I don't really think it's a tree. I don't think it's a tree. Considering you can also eat it, I think bamboo is quite tasty as well. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a tree. I'll definitely have to research that. So yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, someone did reply, that is grass. Thank you everyone for watching. I say this every single episode, and I'm sure you're all very tired of me saying how grateful I am for everyone watching and helping me out with this as well, because I am doing this for volunteering as well as for everyone watching as well. So thank you everyone for watching, and even if you're watching this after the live has ended, thank you for watching this as well. All the comments are so nice. Best wishes to you both. Very nice. Thank you so much. And this has been Gardening, Learn and Fun. So thank you, Indra, once again. And hopefully you'll see you soon.
See you soon.
বিদেশ করে বিদেশ স্বপ্ন যাবে অনেক দূর হবে না তো বিদেশ বিদেশ করে বিদেশ স্বপ্ন যাবে অনেক দূর হবে না তো বিদেশ বিদেশ করে বিদেশ স্বপ্ন যাবে অনেক দূর হবে না তো